Hey, this is Cindi, and I just couldn't pass up another time to hang out with BirdTricks friends flying birds. So Rocket's been out here with me for 2 weeks now in Utah. So the reason I came out for this particular trip, first of all, was because I had the opportunity to do something longer, and I feel like you always spend the first couple of days getting back in shape a little bit before you even get to start building. And my boss was kind enough to allow me to actually work my day job during the second week, so I could be here for a full 2 weeks with only 1 week of vacation. That was a real big pull for me to come on this particular trip, and the fact that it wasn't too far to drive. The birds have just had a great time flying here. The winds have been kind of all over the place, but in a way that's kind of good, because if your bird isn't really used to the wind, they can kind of build up some stamina without it, and then they can learn some tricks with the wind once the wind shows up, and it shows up in spades sometimes. I had a lot of fun getting to know Tony and his 2 birds. Moxie is just amazing with her immediate jump into any level of flying almost. It's just been really great to watch that. And even with his Eki that he wasn't too sure was going to be able to graduate, and yet she did. She did great. But there were some other cool birds out here. Lots of people had a lot of fun getting their birds out for the first time, so it was great to watch. Rocket did really great on this trip. First of all, he had to learn a lot more about how to deal with wind, and he did it like a rock star. And then also, because he's so small, I mean, sometimes the winds can just be too big for him, but even when they are, just this morning he got blown really a long way, and he managed to work his way back. And the other thing that worked really great for Rocket on this trip was that he has had kind of a habit of wanting to go land in different places than where I'm at, especially since I can't always climb up to where the rest of the crew can go. Sometimes I'll find that he'll fly up to them and sit with them for a while, and I used to go and call, and he'd finally come back. And this time we kind of started working on a dynamic where I actually started walking away or hiding a little bit, and we had been doing blind retrieves in the house just to see how he would respond, and he has done great at figuring out he's got to come to me. So he can land for a minute and check it out, he can land for a minute and get a rest if he needs to, but it's his job to get back up in the air without me having to scream for him and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's just been a huge step for us, and a huge step in my confidence that he's going to do that. Trying to pick a favorite location is really hard because it depends on the conditions each day. We found a brand new place that we were calling Baby Grand or Mini Grand because it's kind of like a Grand Canyon. And that, I think, is my favorite for a couple of reasons. One is Rocket actually got chased by a raven, but during that chase, I was calling him and he was taking evasive maneuvers, but heading specifically for me, which let me know that probably in a chase situation, he's going to come to me for safety, which is really a good thing since he's being a little tough on wearing the telemetry. And still gonna work on that, but as long as he doesn't, it makes me feel a lot better to know that if he's really stressed, he's probably gonna come looking for me for protection. But the other thing is that after that raven chase and all the macaws went up to kind of rescue him, he then just really started flocking with the other birds more, which in the past, they would all go this way and he would kind of go that way because he has a different flight pattern and flight style. But in this case, they were down below because I couldn't climb down to where they were, but they were all kind of down below and flying down there. And all of a sudden, he was just constantly flying down there and wanting to mix in. And I saw that again in other locations after that. He was looking for our group and to be close to our group. And I thought that was just a really cool dynamic that changed. And it's a beautiful location. So I'd have to say Mini Grand probably. I would tell people who are interested in free flying a cockatoo that they do need to do a lot of work on some of the uniquenesses of cockatoos, especially I'm talking about the white ones because the galahs are a little bit different and I don't really have much experience with them, but the white cockatoos can be more nervous, they can be more sensitive, and there's things that you really need to work through with that to make them really ready and able to do that. They're very capable flyers. I mean, my bird is an amazing flyer. Getting him past some of the humps of the fear things, the not being able to be around too close to other people and stuff like that. So, definitely the noun principle, introduce them to something new every day so that they can overcome those things, get past those fears, and then they can focus on the flight aspects of it. My goal for the next trip will be to just continue to grow his skills. And just also for me, this is my vacation time. This is my hangout time with people that I share a common interest and bond with. And so I get something out of it personally. My bird gets to have his best life. And so those are basically both goals.